Good afternoon. It is April 12th, 2022. And as you can see today, we really just traded down. Eventually it looks like it's just a range day with a failed breakout down here. But pretty much all your trades today came in this downtrend. So we'll take a look at these. I don't think there's anything you can, I think 5 o'clock comes in around here. So now that I'm seeing, I didn't see, but this is a spiking channel. I didn't see that until just now. So, yeah, I don't think you could have taken this, which we get a failed second entry. It's just too far from the EMA, in my opinion, to be taking that. So, but you know what? You could have looked at this as a second entry long. So maybe when this sets up, and you're probably thinking like, I don't want to go into the longs, but then maybe you get this failure, you might be thinking about, I don't know, entering back here. I don't know. You might consider something like that, but there's just no entries, too far from the EMA. Then we start trending down here. So we have a break. We get this spike and channel up, and really, I mean, sometimes it'll be like this. So maybe it's a two-tiered, and look at that. That midline works. So that very well could be it. It's a spike and channel, and we get a break and two legs up to a new high before a reversal. So keep an eye out for stuff like that. We get this channel down, you get a break, and I don't see any setups, by the way, in here. You get this failure, but that looks like it's too far from any trend channel, but it is a failure. This is all too far from the EMA. Then we get some congestion and move back to the EMA. And this does look like a failed break higher, so you might consider that. But then we go higher, and you get this looks like a second entry. You can see it. It really is like a first, second, third, fourth entry. But that looks pretty like one leg down. Or two legs of correction. One leg of correction, leg up, second leg of correction. This is a really good signal bar. I think you got to take that. And we're just chopping around right here. Then we make another leg up to a new high, and that's when it starts reversing. So we made this high and then made a new high. And you get a first entry, failed second entry long right here. If you're reading the price action well, you see that. And it's like a failed break above overnight highs. I think you could take that failure. And you probably would have been a little scared when we get this doji right after, but what is this? I don't know what was going on there. Here, let's see. If you draw it off those highs, yeah, I think I drew my channel off those two swings. Then when you can see we get an overshoot, some congestion, another leg down, more congestion, and that leads to a break. But back to this, we come up here, and you get a first entry, second entry. So I probably marked this looking at it as a second entry short. And it does indeed look like that, but I'm seeing now it's technically a third entry. But that looks like two legs up of correction. So, and you get a lower high if you don't pull the trigger there. And this looks like a second entry as well. You could look at this maybe as like a double bottom. First entry breaks higher, second entry, but you could definitely take that off the lower high. And this is a new high, so first entry, failed second entry right here. And that's off that trend channel. It closed above the EMA, but I think you gotta, if you're reading this right, you gotta take that. Here we get a second entry, but the signal bar is no good. But on the 1700 tick chart, you get a great signal bar. I don't know what's going on here. Oh my goodness. What is this? All right, so yeah, right here, it's perfect second entry short right off the EMA. So I mean, it's worth having that 1700 tick chart up, but I did experience today, it gets confusing when you have to go back and forth and you're looking for an entry. So there are definitely benefits to just having one chart open. But you can see down here we form this range. And we break out, and eventually that breakout fails, but we get a really strong leg up right here. This is all too far from the EMA, and we you wouldn't know it until now, but this is the top of the channel. Turns out to be the top of the channel. We go down into this range, and we make like we keep testing this level of resistance right here, and you do get a second entry right here, but that's below the EMA, so that's pretty aggressive. But when we test this level first, after we form that level, test it once, test it twice, test it a third time, that looks pretty good to me. And you actually get a lower high here, breakout pullback, and a failed second entry, but that's just very far from the EMA. And we come down here and form this range, and we're just too congestive right here. Break lower, fails, comes up here, congestive, break lower, can't go lower here. You might take this higher low, but the bias was down and I wasn't liking that. You get a first entry, second entry at the top of this range, so you might take that just to ride back to the EMA, and you get a lower high right after that, so you might take that instead. And then we come back, bounce off the midline, come higher again, probably trapping more longs, and you get this lower high back into the range yet again. And then we come down here, first entry, breaks higher, second entry short. That's also a first failed second entry long. Great entry, and that gives you a nice move down. This is way too far from the EMA. Leg of correction here, and you don't get any setups, unfortunately, into this strong move down. Failure is too far from the EMA. Come down here, first entry, second entry, off the trend line. That's good enough for a scalp. We get this channel of correction. And I don't see anything in here, but when we come back up here and make this lower high and you have room back to the lows, I think you can take that. It's also a second entry short. And then we get a second entry short down here. And this is where you might have found the channel. And this is pretty much at the end of the day. So, but yeah, it's a second entry short. And then we form this reversal. Really what we were doing is that's a failed breakout of the overnight lows. And so when we start trending up, you get a first entry, second entry, a very good signal bar, and it confirms this trend channel. I think you can take that. First entry, second entry on the trend channel. We're in a channel, hasn't been broken yet. So yeah, it's a good trading day. Hope everyone else had a good trading day. And I will be back tomorrow.